Do you ever see some senior software engineer or even a manager with far less experience than others in their role and think, how did they get here? Is this the mythical 10x engineer that we've all heard about? Or do they just know something that the rest of us don't? Sometimes it might be a mix of both, but more often than not, I think this just comes down to understanding how promotions work in tech companies and learning how to play the game, so to speak. Now, to be clear, I haven't been a senior engineer, and I certainly can't speak for how to get promoted at those levels. But from what I can tell, the vast majority of my audience are students and junior engineers. So in this video, I'm going to share how I got my first promotion as a software engineer, which hopefully can be helpful to you if you are currently an entry-level software engineer or potentially starting a new job soon and just looking to hit the ground running. And for those more senior engineers, I would expect that some of this advice is still applicable, but I just can't say for sure because I haven't been there. Okay, so first and foremost, you need to understand how promotions work at your company. For instance, some companies have smaller, more frequent promotions, while others have larger but more infrequent promotions. This is something I would just talk to your manager about and potentially look at some internal documentation to understand how things work. And then from there, you can set a goal for yourself of when you want to be promoted. In my case at Facebook, my goal was to be promoted after my first full half, which meant that I wanted to be promoted in just under 1 year at the company. And now, once you have a goal in mind, discuss it with your manager. If you just wait for a promotion to happen naturally, it's going to take much longer than if you are upfront and ask for it. Just like anything else in life, it's important to be a self-advocate. However, you don't want to just randomly be asking for a promotion right when you want it. This oftentimes doesn't work because you don't give them a compelling reason to promote you. Instead, if you start that conversation early, then instead of asking for a promotion, you can ask for advice and guidance towards getting that promotion. Then when the time comes, you can look back on that advice and you can show them how you were able to follow their guidance and even exceed their expectations. If you show them that you did exactly what they said to do to get a promotion, then it's going to be hard for them not to promote you. Now, it's likely that your manager will share some information around how your company handles promotions. At most big tech companies, there's actually a very exact criteria, and you should become extremely familiar with this criteria. If your manager doesn't share it, just try looking around internal documentation and you'll probably find it. The most common criteria that I have seen is that you have to have been working at the next level for some amount of time, and there usually are pretty straightforward definitions for what the levels look like. And once you understand this criteria, try to take advantage of it and make sure that you're checking every box for that next level. For example, when I was at Facebook, I realized that getting to the next level meant that I needed to take on projects with a slightly larger scope and make contributions to my overall team beyond those projects. From the project side of things, this was actually fairly easy, since I was clear with my manager that I wanted to work towards a promotion, so he let me take on projects that would usually be meant for somebody at that next level. And then to make larger contributions, I focused on my biggest strength, which was front-end development. I was one of the only engineers on the team specialized in the front end, so I took it upon myself to help improve the front-end practices of the team. I did this by creating some new documentation and writing scripts to automate some of the more tedious front-end processes. In addition to this, I also chose to just put myself out there and offer help to other team members when they had questions about front-end code. But overall, it doesn't matter exactly what I did. Just find things that you are really good at and to see if you can use those to make larger contributions to your team. Some high-level ideas here would be to improve the documentation, refactor or clean up old code, automate some tedious processes, help mentor new hires or interns, or try to go above and beyond in code reviews. And as you do these things, keep a detailed log of everything you do. When the review time comes at the end of the year or the half, you need to be prepared to describe the impact that you had. It can be really easy to forget about all of these little things that you've been doing. And throughout this time, make sure that you are frequently checking in with your manager. You might only have one manager, but they likely have many direct reports. So this makes it easy for them to forget the details of your work, so just try to remind them. Make sure they remember that a promotion is something you are working towards, and that it wasn't just something you asked them about one time. With each of your one-on-one meetings with your manager, ask for feedback specifically related to getting that promotion, and ask if they feel that you are on track. If you are communicating well with your manager, then the promotion shouldn't be a surprise. You should know if you're on track for it well in advance. Also, make sure to remember that at the end of the day, getting a promotion in tech is going to be difficult. It's going to take a lot of work. But if all goes well, you can be rewarded extremely well for that work. For instance, when I got promoted at Facebook, I actually ended up with a larger raise than I initially expected. And if you're curious to see my entire salary progression at Facebook, check out this video here. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one.